and welcome to episode 9 of francofille, a creative podcast. My name is Devin, and this is where I document at this point, let's just say yarn-related or adjacent crafting fun. I think I change it up every single episode, what I say there, but primarily I knit. Sometimes I sew. Sometimes I try my hand at spinning. I've been working on some shawl designs. I have been known to crochet. I haven't in a while, but whatever. I do things with yarn or things related to yarn, and this is where I talk about it. What else goes in my intro? Oh, you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry at bdevin. We have a Ravelry group for the podcast as well. You can find that if you search francofille under the groups tab on Ravelry. We've got an introductions thread, an ask me anything thread, and also that's where I post my show notes. Also, definitely come say hi, join, and share your finished objects, share your projects with us. I'd love to see what you guys are working on. I'm also going to be posting a poll in there this week, I think. Kind of curious as to what kinds of things you guys like in terms of like knit along, prize packages, what kind of things you would be interested in seeing in the future, what kinds of knit alongs, all that kind of good stuff. So please definitely come by the Ravelry group and leave a little feedback. It's been a really, really good week, in part because spring break is officially next week, but I may have been rather smart for once when designing my syllabus this semester and basically taught my one class for the week last night. So it's Wednesday. I'm basically on spring break. My students have a take-home midterm exam due online tomorrow night, so I have no obligations on campus. I can hang out and knit. Life is really good. It doesn't take much to make me happy, apparently. Let me stay home in my nest and let me knit, and that'll do it. That may be the most introverted thing I've ever said, and I say a lot of introverted things. Other than that, spring break is next week, and I'm really excited because I'm going to be able to meet up with Abby and Allie, the ladies of Get Lit and Knit. I can't wait to actually meet them. Super excited. Also excited because in a couple more weekends, I've signed up to go to YarnCon up in Chicago. I'm going to take a couple classes on Sunday, and I'm planning on coming and checking out the vendor situation on Saturday as well. So if you are in the Chicago area, definitely check it out. I didn't even know this was a thing. I didn't think there was a yarn related or knitting related convention type thing in Chicago until Stitches Midwest, which isn't until I think the end of July. My dates may be wrong. I'm hoping to go to that too, but we got some time to figure that one out. Apparently when I'm in a good mood, I talk a mile a minute. I need to catch up and catch my breath. I have some tea here. Using my loose leaf tea mug here, I talked about a couple episodes ago, because my Knitting X-Pack swap arrived in the mail yesterday. Yeah, definitely is a huge part of why I'm having such a good week, because my swap partner, Madeline, spoiled me to death. Super, super spoiled right now. So incredibly grateful. Thank you so much for all of the amazing gifts. I will show you guys what she sent, the amazing spoilage, in a little bit. Included in there, I'll just start with this because I'm talking about my tea anyway, is she sent me this bag of loose leaf tea. I do love me some loose leaf tea. We all know I speak no languages other than French and English. I don't know if it actually has cactus in it. I mean, it could. Um, it looks like it says cactus in Swedish. I mean, it's basically cactus with K's instead of C's. So I'm assuming that's what that is. Could be something else. It's super florally, and kind of like citrusy. I don't know. It's really, really, really good though. So thank you. This is, I think, my third or fourth cup already, and I got this yesterday. I'm minorly obsessed. Anyway, I actually have a finished object to show you guys. I've been knitting fairly monogamously, at least for me, this week. In part because, you know, accountability buddies. I told you guys I was gonna finish some stuff before I cast on, and that is what I did. So, I was knitting a pair of 2 at a time socks for my sister-in-law, who not so subtly hinted that she was looking for some hand-knit socks, or would greatly appreciate some. When I saw her, I think it was over Thanksgiving. Took me a minute to actually get around to doing it. But yeah, so I'm going to show you one here. I'm using the other sock blocker for something else. Guys, I have sock blockers. I think that makes me an official knitting podcaster. But yeah, I knit these out of Felici, Knit Picks Felici, and the colorway is Candy Jar. You can see it's got, yeah, really fun, bright colors. Knit them cuff down like I always do. 1 by 1 ribbing. Honestly, it's a little bit longer of a cuff than I normally knit, or at least longer ribbing section. I hate knitting ribbing. I really, really do. So this took effort. Also did a Fish Lips Kiss heel, which I've talked to you guys about several times. It's really fun to knit. I gotta play around with it a little bit more before I get it to a place where I'm happy with the way it wears, but I think that's an issue with me and my knitting and not with the pattern. And then normal toe decreases, Kitchener toe. I don't know why I'm showing it to you like that. It doesn't really show you anything, but Kitchener toe. Yeah. I'm showing you one here. I promise it's not a hoe. It's a faux. F-O. Because I'm using the other one to show you. Why am I just holding it like this? Show you how Felici has changed, apparently, since I last used it. These ratty things, actually not that ratty, just a little pilly, are, whoop, hi. Hold this correctly. These are a pair of socks that I knit back in 2012. And you can see, I mean, I wear them all the time. They are some of like the softest, best, like most favorite socks. Plus I wear a lot of blue, so they go with that. Anyway, you can see other than the pilling, like they really haven't worn very much, right? There's no felting really going on along the bottom. There's a little bit going on here in the heel. But, I mean, other than that, and the fact that, you know, this end has come unloose, or come undone, yeah, nothing. I mean, there's no holes, there's no nothing. And again, I wear these all the time. The other thing I really want to show is how the stripes apparently in Felici have gotten a lot bigger. Right, when I ordered these, I was expecting thin little stripes like this, but I guess that's not what they're doing anymore, which, you know, whatever. I'm excited. I like how these turned out. But yeah. I've gotten better about the amount of ribbing I will do. My normal socks, I don't do just that little bit anymore, but I really hate knitting ribbing, guys. And if I'm knitting for myself, I don't care enough. But like I said, these are for somebody else, so I went a little bit more on the ribbing. Yeah, happy those are done. I knit these 2 at a time. First and probably last time, to be honest. It's not that it was particularly difficult, I just found it fiddly, right? It was just an extra step to have to keep adjusting and making sure I was turning my work in the right way so I wasn't getting all tangled up. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was nice to be able to have just a finished pair by the time I got done, right? Instead of having to start back over, cast on a second sock, and deal with that. But, I mean, I cast these on, I want to say middle of December. Socks should not take this long. Then again, my sock knitting mojo has been really, really off lately. Yeah. The patent Croy sock and the gauge issues I'm having with that just, I guess, have shot my sock knitting confidence. I'm gonna have to get it back. And anyway, that is the finished object I have for you guys this week. So, because I got that finished, I let myself cast some stuff on. Just so much fun. So, yeah, I'll start with this one. Yeah. I'm debating whether or not I should start with something I've already cast on to talk to you guys about. Like, something you've already seen before. I haven't really made any discernible progress on that. I know I have, but it's not enough really necessarily to bring it up for you guys. Anyway. I mentioned last week, after discussing with myself in front of you whether I was going to cast on the Solaris shawl or the Waiting for Rain shawl, I decided I was going to cast on the Waiting for Rain shawl and take part in Kristen of Yarngasm's knit-along. And I am in love with this pattern. It's really, really cool. It's a pattern by Sylvia Bobilvia, and she just released, I guess, a supplement to the pattern that's called, Hacking the Waiting for Rain shawl. So she's basically giving you modifications and things like that, her thoughts on the pattern, and it's written, both the pattern and the supplemental PDF are written in a really conversational sort of way. So I'm really enjoying reading it. I feel like I've gotten to know Sylvia through reading her pattern, which is weird. I don't know if that's a thing, but Sylvia, I feel like I know you and I like you, so let's be friends. Good mood. I'm weird. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I cast on yesterday and maybe it was yesterday? Maybe it was 2 days ago. I've gotten a little bit of work done here. I'm still in the first section. I am going to do the 2-color version, although I'm going to have to rip out this because I accidentally added in my contrast color on a wrong side row. I was too excited and was not paying attention. And with garter stitch, right, I mean, that's going to bug me. Right, this is supposed to be the right side, not the wrong side, and that's going to bug me. And anyway, I haven't even told you what I'm knitting it out of. I am knitting it out of Frabjous Fibers. I believe the base is Cheshire Cat. Yes, it is. It is a sock fingering weight, and they're really generous size skeins. 512 yards for 4 ounces. So it's a fairly light fingering weight, but I am knitting it in, what is this one? Goat's Beard, which is this gray color, and Cabbages and Kings, which is this awesome, awesome green. I really like this. They're both slightly tonal. I mean, really, it's really subtle. I think it's really just going to make it appear a little deeper, give it a little bit of visual interest. There's enough going on in this pattern that I wanted to stick with something simple. Maybe I'm boring, but I personally really prefer anything with lace to be done in a solid or a semi-solid yarn. I don't even necessarily want my yarn to be too tonal, right? To have light and dark, really noticeable light and dark spots if I'm knitting lace. I really want the lace to be able to stand on its own. I say as I'm wearing something with very solid lace, right? But sort of lace and cabling. I don't even remember. I think this is the Andrea shawl by Kristen Kapoor. Just threw it on today. I didn't even think to write it down. Whoops. Anyway, I'm knitting this up. I'm gonna have to rip out this one row. No, 4 rows, but really enjoying it. The pattern is really fun to read. The increases along the sides are really fun. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. Really glad that I made the decision just to cast this one on to begin with. What else to say? I'm knitting these on Knit Picks interchangeable circulars. I want to say they're size 6. Yes, they are. Size 6. Yeah, really fun. Having fun with this project. It's living currently in one of my project bags that I made. It's got the gold pineapples. I love it. Yeah. I'm sure I will be posting plenty of pictures on Instagram about this as it grows. And you guys will hear about it for a while. What else to say? Other thing to show you. That's not what I wanted. So yeah. Couple things that make me, I feel like, an official podcaster now. I have sock blockers. I'm planning on going to some sort of yarn-related event, right? I've done that sign up. I also finally cast on a cozy memory blanket. I've become a parody of myself. That's okay. I'm literally, like, I cast it on this morning, right? Like, it's a square and an eighth of a square at this point. Yeah, you can see like that. But, let's see what to say so far. My first square, I used, it's Vine Yarns, Dirty on Purpose on her Volca base. And so I think that's her MCN, Merino Cashmere Nylon Blend. And this was a misfit skein, so it's not quite how she normally dyes it. But, yep. Really, I have some socks that I made out of these that I absolutely love. Second square that's coming along here is Madeline Tosh. I don't remember which one exactly, which base, but it's the saffron colorway. And this is more of Madeline spoiling me. She sent me some stitch markers and included this Progress Keeper, which is a hand knit sock. How stinking adorable is this? How freaking cute is that? It's a little knit sock. So it belonged on some sort of socky project. So I'm using the Sock Progress Keeper on my little sock yarn blanket. It seemed too appropriate to pass up. But yeah, you guys I'm sure will see way too much of this. I am following, which version? There are so many versions of this one. This is the one that Kemper of the Junk Yarns podcast wrote up and is on her blog. So it's cast on 46 stitches, and I'm using, why am I doing this? You don't even care. They're Chiagoos, they're US size 2, which I think is a 2.75? Yep, 2.75 millimeter needle. I don't need to be using one with a 40-inch cable, but all of my all of my small needles that are circulars have giant cables because I use them for magic loop. Anyway, you guys will see more and more of this. I've got a bunch of minis here that I'm finally going to get to put to good use, and they are living in my Hue Loco project bag that I received from Nicole last week. So I spent my morning winding some of the mini skeins that I received up into little balls. Right, so this one is Hue Loco. I think it's her Rowdy Mermaid colorway. I'm not sure. And I'm not sure which base it is. It might be, I think her Phyllis ones are sport weight. I'm not sure. It wasn't labeled. I'm not sure. And then I'm not sure which one of her colorways or which base this one is either, but it's also from Nicole. So yeah, these two I wound up. Then this one from Wool and Vine also got wound up into a little mini ball, and it was funny. Jordan was watching me do this morning. He just kind of looked over, and when I popped, I think it was this one, off the ball winder, she's like, "What are you doing? That ball is too small to be using." Let me tell you, there's this thing called mini skeins. Apparently, they're like currency in the knitting world nowadays, so I'm putting them to use. Got a couple other bits and bobs hanging out in here that I need to knit up quickly. Here's that Madeline Tosh. Part of it is I'm not even winding up. I've got some odds and ends that are just leftovers that never got re-skeined. So I've got them hanging out in here like this. This is a Malabrigo. Ooh, I'm gonna not make you dizzy. Malabrigo sock from a shawl that I knit for a friend. Honestly, I don't even remember what the colorway is at this point. Sorry, guys. Right, but it's fun and variegated. And then the leftover Jilted Rose Narwhal Wool and Vine yarns. I think I said that in the exact opposite order. That's actually helpful. Anyway, this was from the Amboise shawl that I just finished. So I'm going to be including that in this project. I actually found the leftover mini skein from those 4-year-old Knit Picks Felici socks I just showed you. Alright, so that'll go in there eventually. Yeah, this is as good a time as any to show you what I got in my Knitting Expat yarn swap. So Madeline, who is Snake Knit on both Instagram and Ravelry, and who's actually also one of my test knitters for my Amboise shawl, and phenomenal. Hey, my first phenomenal, I think, of the podcast. Guys, I say that way too much. I was kind of getting embarrassed when I was editing last week, because it's not a word I normally use in everyday speech. It's, I think, seriously something I only use when I'm recording these podcasts. Language is funny. Anyway, yeah, in the swap, she included these 2 bags of minis. Yeah, rather than read you guys every single one right now, I will, there's some really pretty ones in here. Sorry, I'm really allowing myself to look at these for the first time. I will let you know as I knit through each one of them what all's in there. But yeah, I mean, super organized too. Like, she's got them in these really nice little bags and then has labeled them what they are from left to right, which I gotta admit I was not as good at, to her in that. I think I just put the minis in the package and did not label what they are. So Madeline, when you get the package, send me a message and I will talk you through what each mini skein is. It completely slipped my mind. Yeah, completely slipped my mind, but I'm so excited for this project. I am so excited. I'm so glad that I finally cast this on. I've got some really cool stuff to knit up. What else? Yeah, my other sock, the Opal sock, with the little Prince yarn. Oh, that's so good. Haven't really made a ton of progress since you guys last saw it. Right? I'm doing just a simple knit purl design on here. Keeping it interesting. Knitting these on DPNs. I believe they are US 1.5s, so that's a 2.5 millimeter. Yes. And the actual ball of yarn. I am absolutely in love with this colorway. Right, isn't that gorgeous? I love the blues, the purples, and the yellows, just how they all play together too. So nice. I love Opal yarn. It's not the softest yarn in the world. It's kind of similar to Regia like that, but it wears really, really, really well. Um, when it comes to sock yarn, I'd really rather it be sturdy and hard wearing rather than just be soft and squishy, right? There's a place for soft and squishy socks, but if I'm knitting socks, I want to be able to wear them and wear them like socks, not like house slippers. Do you know what I mean? Though I do have a pair of socks that I do just wear around the house, but I mean, that's really more because, what is it? It's a pair of socks that I knit out of an MCN base, right? Merino Cashmere Nylon base. And I just feel like they're a little too delicate to be in shoes and worn and kind of deal with all that wear and tear. So I put them on when I get home, and my feet are incredibly happy for it. So, I mean, I'm not complaining, but I'd rather have a sturdy sock yarn. Anyway, I don't know why I put that away. I wasn't quite done telling you about the socks. So many tangents. Anyway, I'm just about getting to the heel now on those. I think 2 rows in, so there's really nothing to show you there. But I'm going to be doing a reinforced slip, or like a slip stitch fish lips kiss heel. So kind of following the lead of Mina of the Knitting Expat and all of her sock knitting wisdom. She mentioned, I think a couple weeks ago now, how she was doing kind of a modified fish lips kiss heel for some of her socks where she was incorporating, sorry about that, just got a text message and my computer decided to alert me about it. Anyway, she was incorporating slip stitches in the heel portion before she actually turns anything, to give it that reinforced structure that you get in a heel flap and gusset style sock. So since I really do like that, and we've seen my socks kind of need it, yeah, I decided I'm going to try that out and see how it goes. So thank you, Mina, for that tip, and yeah, we'll see how it works. What else? Yes, I told you I was going to tell you about the yarn swap package. I got those minis. I'm so excited that I'm just all over the place today, guys. I really do apologize. Giant box. Jordan was very confused when he opened the door. He's like, so you've got a package from Sweden. Ah, yay! Yarny fun. Yeah, got this really cool postcard, which is kind of awesome. My first sewing machine actually back in middle school was a Husqvarna, so that was kind of fun. And then a sweet little note on the back there, kind of explaining what all is in here. And I may have already dived in a little bit. So first, I'm just going like top to bottom what's in here. First thing is a bag of, sorry for the crinkling, some chocolate candy, like chocolate covered wafers. They're really good. I had one yesterday. I'm not gonna lie. And 3 candy bars, right? Gotta love candy. I wish I spoke Swedish. I really do. I love things like this where you get a word that means 2 completely different things in 2 different languages, right? From the picture on here, I'm gonna assume that it's like caramel or something like that. But another reason why language is awesome, language is fun, right? But yeah, I'm saving these. I'm one of those people. I will save. I'm now backtracking on something I said last week. How I'm a 1 marshmallow kind of kid, right? Like I hate putting things off. If I want something, I want it. But for some reason, like candy treats like this, I will save forever. And actually will tend to save them too long to the point where like they expire before I actually get around to eating them. So I'm going to end up saving these, but I'm going to make sure that I'm on top of eating it before it goes bad. What else? I got the minis. I got that bag of loose leaf tea. She also included another box of tea. Right? There's a bunch of flavored black teas. We've got lemon macaron, blueberry muffin, pear chocolate inspiration. I am super looking forward to that one. And strawberry cupcake. These should be really good. They sound really delightful. And I love this style of Lipton tea bag, the little pyramids. Just brews really, really nicely. Cool. Oh, I didn't notice the lemon macaroon and the strawberry, I don't know if the glare's on there. The strawberry cupcake are both green teas. The other two are black teas. So that's really cool. Neat. I can't wait to break into these. She also included this little thing of lavender incense with a little burner on there as well, right? Which is, I mean, it's perfect. My house is littered with lavender candles. Like all of my hand lotions and things like that are lavender scented. Yeah, my life ideally would be lavender scented. I actually have this giant bag of dried lavender from my wedding last summer, actually. Because I had fresh and dried lavender kind of throughout the space, and it was actually like lavender growing in the backyard that we got married in, so obsessed with lavender. Yeah, so that's awesome. I'm holding off on breaking into that one, but it'll happen soon. And then, actual yarny goodness too, in addition to the minis, she included these 2 balls of sock yarn. She included both, one for the body of a sock and then contrasting cuff, toe, and heel. Right? So I'm really excited about these. I've wanted to do a pair of socks with contrasting cuff, toe, and heel for a while. And now I've actually got the material to do so. So expect to see these soon. And they're so cool. They are, again, both Swedish yarns, and yeah, these are perfect. Cause yeah, I can tell from the feel they're gonna be really good, hard wearing socks. They're soft, but they've got that sturdiness. You know, you can just kind of tell. You can just feel. And yeah, the colors are totally me. I can't wait to see how this knits up. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be exactly the kind of socks that I love. So I've got that, and then she also included this beautiful skein, right? These blues and grays, which are just my favorite. Which is another local to her yarn, right? Another Swedish yarn, and it is gorgeous. Just these super fine singles. I'm gonna have to find a really great pattern for this. It's almost like too pretty to knit at this point. Like I'm too excited and too in love with it to actually do anything with it yet. So I'm gonna have to, I don't know, I'm gonna have to brainstorm. This is gonna be, sorry, I'm mesmerized. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. There's too many possibilities. It's one of those, I'm afraid I'm gonna knit the wrong project. Does anybody else get that? Or you're just so excited about some yarn that you're afraid you're going to do the wrong thing with it, and so it just kind of sits. But I'm going to have to actively find the right pattern for this. So thank you, Madeline. You really, really spoiled me, and I'm so excited. And once she lets me know when she gets the package, I'll talk to you guys about what I sent her. Oh yes, last thing. So I showed you she sent me that little hand knit sock progress keeper. She also included some stitch markers that she made. Let's see if I can get this angle correct for you to actually see them. I'll separate 2 of them out. There you go. We've We've got one there, which is like this little Santa Claus kind of dude. And then some candy canes. I love these. They're so cute. They're so perfect. And they are actually like kind of perfect timing too, because I was trying to brainstorm ideas for knit-alongs and future projects and all that kind of stuff over the last week, and I think these are actually going to go really well with a knit-along I want to do this summer, because the weather's getting nice out and I'm getting probably close to the point where I'm not going to want to have big projects sitting in my lap. I don't like it's summer. It's going to be summer. And I don't know, I do a lot of accessory knitting, especially like small accessories, maybe hats, gloves, socks, that sort of sized thing during the summer, because as you knit on it, it's not going to be sitting in your lap and weighing you down and making you feel hot and gross, right? Like a sweater would. Or like a really large shawl. So I've been brainstorming ideas for knit-alongs and things like that for this summer, because right now I think things are a little too crazy to try and add one of those in, but those stitch markers will be perfect for some summer plans of mine. Yeah, what else to talk to you guys about? Some other tentative things kind of coming up. Some plans are in the works for some cool stuff coming up for the podcast, including, like I was just saying, a knit-along. We've got one that I'm thinking of doing just by myself, and then another one that me and another podcaster are brainstorming about. So watch the space. We'll let you know more about that once we actually finalize some stuff. And what else? The embossed shawl. I have amazing test knitters. I don't know if I've already said that. If I did, I can say it again and again and again, because I really, really do have some amazing test knitters. Their feedback has already been fantastic. If you want to see how they're progressing, check Instagram. I think just about everybody, I think, has posted pictures so far of their progress. They're all using the hashtag #embossed_shawl on Instagram. So if you want to take a look there, I'm gonna have the pattern to the tech editor this weekend, probably. I still have to finalize some details with her, but I think I may have actually gone about that backwards. I think maybe you're supposed to send it to the tech editor before you send it to test knitters. You guys know that I'm just figuring this out as I go, right? Like that's nothing new. And here as well, I have learned something as I'm working my way through this first pattern. Once all those sorts of things get ironed out, I'll tell you guys more details about them. But another thing that's kind of coming up is I just received this literally in the mail today, maybe 20 minutes ago, 20 minutes before I started recording. And it is a set of minis from Jamie of, I want to make sure I'm getting this right, A Beautiful Mess Yarn Works. And we are thinking about doing something together, so she sent me some minis. And I'm going to knit these up, kind of get some feedback to her, and soon we will, have more details for you guys. Really excited about this project that we're thinking of doing. So, I'm going to cast on what I want to do with these today as well. Get that going. Knit up some swatches. What else? Merci. Thank you to all of my Francophone viewers who left really, really nice feedback after my awkward little message at the end of last week's episode. I will definitely be including more Frenchy goodness in future episodes. Not today. I didn't take enough notes or think things through enough. And I'm also, in the back of my mind, I've got the fact that I need to let Jordan know when he's allowed to come home. he's got office hours and just kind of sent me a text. You guys heard that come in asking, hey, is it safe for me to come home yet? Because he doesn't like to be here when I'm talking to my camera, and we've all seen how awkward I can be, especially when I know he's in the house and I'm trying to do this. Yeah, what else? Looking at my notes. Like I said, next week is actual spring break. There may or may not be an episode coming out. We have kind of a full schedule, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get one recorded or not. It's possible, but I may not actually be able to. Just logistics may not work out. What else? Yes, I did want to show you the minuscule amount of spinning I did get done this week as well. I've just been bouncing around from craft to craft and thought to thought. One of my fellow sorority advisors actually gifted me this adorable little drop spindle that I don't actually know quite how to work. It's bottom whorl, and which I've never used before. And it's handmade, and it's unlike anything I've considered before, right, or looked at. But I've been playing around with it, and I don't know if you can see there. Is it gonna focus right? Not really. I've been able to get a really, really fine yarn with it, like a really fine single, which is really cool. But I don't know quite how to use this, so I'm not able to get like the flicking motion down or something where it actually spins. So I'm doing a lot of like twisting by hand. But it's so cool. It's a handmade spindle, like I said, and like the glass bead on here is handmade, and she got this from a friend of hers who is the one who actually made it. And I've been spinning off of this puny, which was from Deb of Fondant Fibers. So this spins beautifully. I really wish I had a wheel, actually, because I think this would be perfect to spin on a wheel. I think it just would draw beautifully, perfectly. But yeah, I was having some fun messing around with this, getting this figured out. If you guys have any tips, if anybody has any tips on how to spin on this kind of spindle, I would greatly appreciate it. Because it's just such a cool little thing. I really want to be able to use it right, you know? But yeah, and so thank you, Sarah, for the spindle. Sarah mentioned that she had watched these when we were in a meeting this weekend, and then Monday night I saw her again, and I was wearing my Color Block Color Affection shawl. She's like, that's the Color Block shawl that you just knit, isn't it? Someone's paying attention. Oh my god. Okay. It is indeed. So, hi Sarah. Yes, the other thing, so like I mentioned, I'm really all over the place, guys. I am so sorry that I've just been jumping from place to place to place. It really would have been good had I been looking at my notes. I may re-record this episode tomorrow, to be perfectly honest. Maybe I will be a little less flighty, who knows. Or maybe I'll just post this and show you guys my scattered shame. Anyway, I mentioned that I'm really wanting to do some knit-alongs. I've got some ideas in the works. I'm curious as to what kind of giveaways you guys are interested in. Like, what kind of prizes do you guys like? Do you guys prefer having separate chatter threads and finished object threads on Ravelry? Yeah, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to open up a couple polls in the show notes on Ravelry, kind of talking about one, what kind of knit-alongs you guys like, and also what kinds of things do you like in the prize packages. Do you want project bags? Do you want full skeins? Would you rather get gift certificates? Would you rather get stitch markers, combinations thereof? Like, yeah, what kinds of things do you like? What do you think is an effective thing? What don't you like so much? I know personally there have been knit-alongs where either the topic wasn't that interesting or the the prize, while generous for sure, wasn't necessarily something that I found compelling. Um, so I didn't necessarily participate. But yeah, I like feedback. I want to know what you're. I mean, if I'm gonna put together a prize package for you guys, and I want to know it's something you guys actually want to get. Do you know what I mean? So leave me some feedback. Let me know. Take a look out. Keep an eye out for those polls on Ravelry. Um, Another poll that I wanted to open up. I may open up a couple different threads for these. Um, and I don't. This one maybe I won't do a poll. I'll just kind of have a thread, and you guys can actually just respond. Um, I know I've been talking for a couple episodes now that I want to make some tutorials. I've got some ideas for things that I would include in tutorials, including like how to read a charted pattern, because I know there are some people who aren't necessarily comfortable with that. How to knit continental style. I mean, again, because I made the switch from English to continental a couple years back, and I find it's improved my knitting, at least the speed and consistency of my tension. But yeah, I mean, if there's, really anything that you guys want to see, let me know, because I would love to do that. Because yeah, I'm asking you guys because if I'm going to make these things, I want to make sure that it's something that's actually helpful for people. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Friends. Thank you. Thank you for putting up with my quirks for another week. All of that said, I'll see you guys next week. Or in 2 weeks. Because, like I said, there may not be an episode next week. But anyway, bye.